Welcome to the Sam and Joe VA Show, where we teach women just like you how to create your very own in-demand virtual assistant business.
We're your hosts, Sam and Joe, and get ready to have the control, flexibility, and freedom you've always dreamed of.
Welcome to episode 35, Create a Truly Flexible Lifestyle.
Yeah, this is the ultimate goal, I think, for everybody listening. It's the ultimate goal for you and I. I think it's the number one reason people come into the virtual assistant industry is they're looking for some freedom and flexibility in their professional lives, aren't they? Whatever that's going to look different for everybody. That dream, the examples are going to be different, whether or not it's somebody with young kids that wants to be able to work around the drop-offs and be able to go to athletics days and swimming days, or maybe it's somebody without any children and they want to live that nomad life. They don't want to be tied down. They want to travel, whether it's at the moment it's traveling within the countries that they're in, but it's still possible. I know more than a handful of virtual assistants that do that. So whatever that dream of that flexible lifestyle looks like for you, it's absolutely possible to have it, but there are things that you need to do in order to keep it. Because I think it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day running of your business and providing support for your clients. And you forget why you first came in here. And so you end up working till midnight and you've missed your kids' assemblies every week for that month. So there's definitely things that you need to go back to and remind yourself of in order to stay on track to live that life.
Yeah, because it can start slipping away, can't it? Or you wake up and you realize, hang on, this is not what I actually wanted when I first started this business. And so, yeah, we've got some great tips for you to keep in mind and to be able to keep that lifestyle and get to that goal. Because there's definitely some things that you can do without even realizing it that just undoes that, isn't there?
Yeah.
So, Sam, you have created your ultimate flexible lifestyle. So what does that look like for you?
Yes, so mine's around my family. So I knew that I didn't want to be tied down. I didn't even want to be tied down to 9 to 5. I wanted to be able to work whenever I wanted or needed to work, doing jobs that I enjoyed and not dreaded, and working for people that I actually really like hanging out with. That's big as well. And I'm there. I've had moments where I've had to remind myself of that, where I've gone, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I'm so overwhelmed. Right. Okay. This isn't why I came into it. What do I now need to do in order to get back on track? So I can come and grow. I can drop everything. I mean, today I think is a perfect example for us both in terms of that flexible lifestyle. We booked out today to do a range of podcast recordings, but you have your regular gym trip on my visit.
Trip, like it's a holiday. Thanks.
your gym visit on Mondays. So, you didn't let that stop you. It's like, right, we'll record a couple, but then I'm going to the gym for an hour. I'll be back. And so while Joe was at the gym, I needed to go to and pick up some wallpaper paste because I've got a wallpaper guy coming tomorrow to do some stuff here at the house. So that was the perfect time. And it was no big deal. There was no stress around that. There was no, oh my goodness, when am I going to fit that in? We made it work because it's in the diaries and we can do that.
Yeah. And so what is your, like, for those who don't know, what is your structure or what sort of work are you doing as a virtual assistant, Sam?
Yeah. So I ended up niching about a year ago, niched really, really narrowed down. So all I offer really now is website designs on the Squarespace platform. So that's all I do. And being able, now only offering project work means that I don't have clients emailing me at all hours with all these expectations. So it's ideal for me. It really is. I'm never letting anyone down. It's so much easier to book holidays or even just disappear on a holiday at a last minute. It's fabulous. I wouldn't change a thing.
I think this is a really key point here. You've specifically chosen something that means that you don't have to be tied to your desk, and you can do that work whenever it suits you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, there's going to be a downside to that because it's not regular income that you can rely on every month. So you need to get more, like the next project and the next project. But you have other businesses and other things that can support that. So I think that's a really key point, that you've chosen something that works exactly around your lifestyle and how tied to your desk that you want to be.
Yeah. And it took a bit. It took a bit to get to that point. I'm not going to say it's been an easy few years, but whenever things kind of went a little bit astray, it was coming back to my why. It was coming back to the services I offered, and really figuring out the business model that was going to work best for me and my family. And you know what? Some days when I'm feeling like crap, if I just want to go lie outside and read a book for a couple of hours, I'm going to do that.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so I think I love that we are so different in terms of our business models, because we can share with all of you who are listening the options that you have. Like, there's no like, this is the perfect model to have as a virtual assistant. It's all about what your why is and what works for you. So when I now have flexibility, because right from the very start, I knew that I wanted to grow an agency and have team members. I knew that I didn't want to be the one delivering the work day in, day out, and that I would hire a team that could support that. Because my goal and where I am now, which I've achieved that goal, is that I can be truly flexible in my work days and weeks. So much so that recently we bought a holiday house about 4 hours drive from us. And so now we've set that up so that we can go there 1 week per month and we can work from there, my husband and I. So we've created it so flexible in terms of our models and how we're delivering our services and what our role is in our businesses, separate businesses, that now we can do that. And that's what we've been working towards. So even though we're delivering ongoing work that is on service plans and, we have a consistent revenue coming in, we have a team who is delivering that work for clients. And so they're at their desk between certain hours and they are available and responsive for clients, doing executive assistant work or bookkeeping work, creative services. All of those can all work because we have a team running that. So completely different model to you, Sam, completely different services. But both of us have now made those work to have truly flexible lifestyles.
Yep, and it's the point. That's why we came into the business. Let's talk about why our whys are so important. We've both touched on it just now. Let's talk about whys.
The very first thing that you should actually figure out and write down, have somewhere, have it on a vision board, have it like on your desk or somewhere, is your why. Why did you go into this business? What does the ultimate lifestyle for you look like? And then every single decision that you make from there out, what you say yes to, what you say no to, what you choose as your services, all has to be, has to work with that why and with your goal lifestyle. And if it doesn't, then you need to make a different decision.
Yeah.
Like, either don't offer those services or you don't say yes to those things, or
Yeah, I mean, we see it all the time, virtual assistants that they find it really hard to say no. And it's so important to say no. And I think that would probably be my number one piece of advice. If you are at that point where you just hate saying no, or you really don't know how to, or you don't know when the right time is to say no, what you should be saying no to and what you should be accepting, as you said, Jo, have that why front and center. Before you accept any job from any type of client, go back to it, have a reminder, and then that will answer the question for you. Yes, I should be doing it, or no, I shouldn't.
Mm. And you know in your gut whether you should say yes or no, because it's your why. Yes, have it front and center and go with what your gut says on it. Now, I know that that's so tempting to say yes to things that don't really fit with your why in the beginning because you just want to get those first few clients.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need to make that decision. Like, are you going to just get the first few clients on board and, do that work for them just so that you can start getting some revenue coming in? And then the next things that you say yes and no to directly relate to your why. That could be an option for you if, like, financially you need to do that. It's totally fine because you can always let those clients go once you've got other clients that can fill that space, So it's a balance. But if you can, right from the get-go, and choose that specialty in that niche and something that exactly fits with your why and your ultimate lifestyle, you will save yourself years of trying to get to that point.
You will. You will. Really. So, I mean, there's certainly specific services that virtual assistants offer that you can avoid from the get-go that are going to tie you to that desk more than others. For instance, call minding. That is going to tie you to your desk. So if you are not wanting to be tied to your desk, avoid call minding like the plague.
Yeah. The other one too would be like throughout the day needing to do inbox checking for someone or inbox management. That's going to tie you to your desk. And look, we're not saying that the ultimate dream lifestyle is to have full, flexibility and like that's the only option. Some people actually, you might want to be at your desk and delivering that real, like those services give you really consistent money coming in every month. If you need that and you want that and that fits in with your why and you do your other stuff on the weekends and at night and you want to have your 8 till 5 and that's when you do your work, then absolutely that's an option for you as well. These are the things that if you don't want to be tied to your desk, you have to say no to. As hard as it is.
Yeah. Are there any others? Are there any other services that kind of think hard about before offering
answering support tickets, that could be a service, something that you need to be responsive immediately to.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's around, as you said, not necessarily not offering those services, but being really clear with boundaries and expectations starting out with the client,
Yeah, be upfront in that first sales meeting. Like that's the time to say, hey, this is how it works. This is when I'm available. These are the expectations, the boundaries, without saying these are my boundaries. But talk about what those things are and how it works. And if that fits with the client, great. If it doesn't fit with the client, that's absolutely fine. And you need to be okay with that you're not the right fit and someone else will be. And then you move to the next lead. And honestly, if you say yes to those people that aren't a right fit and you don't talk up front about that stuff, it just causes issues and angst and resentment down the track with that client. And they would way rather you be upfront so you don't waste their time either because they can get very frustrated by that.
Yeah, that is so true. It's really interesting. I see it every single time in the lead up to school holidays and summer break and whatnot. There's always questions in VA networking groups, especially those that are just starting out, or maybe even not. It may be those that have done it for a while, but they've never been able to navigate school holidays or Christmas holidays well or ideally. The questions they pour in, oh my goodness, how do you guys take holidays? How do you make it work? And I'm always really, really surprised by these questions. I've never had that issue. I've never had to rely on another virtual assistant to take on work so I can take a holiday, although that is a really good option. But I've never had to do it because I have always been super upfront in that first consultation with any potential new lead or client that, I've got young kids. And I'm not going to be around as much in school holidays, but I communicate really well and will make sure that anything that does need doing within that time frame is done before I go away. And then it's just a bit of a hustle to get it done. And I offered social media management for many years. So it was about getting all those social media posts all scheduled out. And so it was no problem, going on leave, or even not even going on leave, but being at home with the kids. And so you weren't at your desk how you would normally be if they were at school. It's not an issue. It's communicating.
Yeah, I think so many people feel nervous about having that conversation. And if that's you and you're listening and thinking, oh, I don't know, because what if it risks like having the client? Well, then yes, it does risk having the client. But if you say it confidently, like this is how it works, most clients will say, okay, we'll work around that. We'll figure it out. And if you have some really good options, like Sam, you just said, but I'm a really great communicator. Anything that, needs to be done, we'll make sure that it's done before the school holidays, and we'll plan and figure that out. They trusted you, and you said it so confidently that they were like, okay, this is not an issue, because you made it not an issue.
Exactly.
When you make it an issue and you're feeling nervous about it and saying it in a way that makes it an issue, that it is going to be an issue.
Yeah, I mean, if the work is still getting done, whether it's scheduled beforehand, or maybe it's getting done at night rather than during the day, the client doesn't care when you're actually doing the work. They just want the work done.
Yep, absolutely. So have a think. What would you like your ultimate flexible lifestyle to be like? Or not even flexible, like if that's not your thing, like what do you want your ultimate lifestyle to be like? And honestly, any lifestyle that you choose can absolutely fit the model of a virtual assistant business. It's just the services you offer, the expectations that you have, the niche, the specialty, like all of those things all can either work in your favor or work against achieving that lifestyle. Thanks to everyone for listening to this episode of the Sam and Joe VA Show. If you'd like to find out more, head to the Savvy School website to check out the amazing members club and find more free resources.
You can find us at savvyschool.co.nz.